Hi everybody, welcome back once again to Eastfield Gunroom with me, Matthew Morgan. As you can see, we are outside once again, so not only are we outside, but we're going to be shooting. Got a brand new ski vest, pre-embroidery. I'm going to wear that today, but not only that, I've got a brand new gun to show you. Before we get into that, if you do like the videos, please subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate your support. As ever, even though we're outside, this video is proudly sponsored by the British Shooting Show, the largest event in the UK shooting calendar. Now I mentioned we've got a brand new gun for you today. It's a UK exclusive. It's another caliber I've never shot. Today we are going to put a premium grade Miroku 28 gauge, yes I said 28 gauge, to the test. A gun I've never shot before. Following on really from the whole Fab Arm video with the 410, it's another small gauge caliber shotgun. It's back out on the clays with me, Matthew Morgan. We're here at Oakedge shooting ground in Staffordshire. Fantastic day for it, so let's go blast some clays. I realised when I shot that 410 Fab Arm a few weeks ago, if you haven't seen the video, do check it out. I was massively undergun with those 2.5-inch cartridges. I could spit further on most of the stands. So what I've done today is I've gone all out and bought some big bad boy game shells, some 28 gauge, 25 gram Express Supreme game to give me the maximum chance of shooting stuff because I'm so dreadful at shooting. Oh! So that's the baptism of fire over, and I've officially popped my 28 gauge cherry. Can't believe how nice it feels to shoot. I know this is a 20 gauge frame, which we'll talk about in the full review when we sit down at the end, but I have had small gauges in the past, 20 bores, particularly Berettas, and this is much smoother to shoot. That's just my first impression. Right, where should we go next? I need something a bit more challenging. I'm feeling super confident there with these big bad boy shells. That incomer was not dissimilar to the kind of birds you shoot if you're out shooting pheasants. It was probably 35-40 yards, I would have thought. Now, again, we spoke about this in the Fab Arm video. By having that small gauge gun, it gives you that more sporting shot, gives it a bit more of a challenging element. And to be fair, I shot those okay, but you know, I'm no George Digweed. The gun itself, really pointable, a bit like a little one. Takes a little bit of getting used to because I've not weighed it yet, but it's probably about 7.5, I would have thought, something like that. So a good pound lighter than what I'm probably used to shooting. So it does take a little bit of getting used to, but in terms of performance, really smoking that big clay. So my small bore excellent performance continues, or not quite. Don't get me wrong, I really do appreciate now that when you see people like Dave Carey shoot big birds or tall pheasants with a 28 gauge or any kind of game, it is very impressive because the margin for error is quite small. You know, you get a 12 bore and you just point it at the clay, 9 times out of 10 it just turns to dust. Not the case with these, it is more challenging, but the gun as a whole feels really nice to swing. I think I'm probably overcooking it a little bit because I'm moving the gun a little bit too quick because it's less weight than what I'm used to, so I have to sort of slow myself down. God knows what it'd be like with a really lightweight 20 bore, like an alloy action one. It'd be murder to stop. So that's the shooting part done and dusted. We've shot some clays. Now we'll go and sit down, tell you about the exact specification of this gun. And like I said, this is a UK exclusive, a gun that I believe you can only get through Eastfield Gunroom. So I'll tell you more about that as well. So that's the shooting part of this review already done. I won't be entering myself into the 410 World Championship or even 28 gauge World Championship, if such a thing exists, anytime soon. Once again, I've been surprised by how accurate you've got to be with these little small gauge guns, or maybe it's just me. Comment below, feel free to do that. But I want to show you this particular gun because, like I said, it's a UK exclusive. This is a gun in grade 5 specification that's never ever been available here in the UK. There has been some grade 1 versions of it, but in grade 5 you will never have seen one of these guns. They are exclusive currently to Eastfield Gunroom. If you're a fan of Mirokus, which tons and tons of viewers are, you've probably already got a 12, you've already got a 20 bore, and you want something a bit more challenging, this is what you need to go for because they don't currently manufacture anything in a 410 that comes out of the Kochi factory in Japan. So let's have a look at the gun itself. We'll start, as we always do, with the action. Now what we've got here, we've got the traditional grade 5 scroll work. It's been on this model, the MK70, the MK60, the MK38 for probably 30+ years now. It's a design that's instantly recognisable whether you go on a clay shoot. I was out clay shooting yesterday, thankfully not with this. As soon as you see one, you know exactly what it is. They've got a huge following here in the UK, less so in the States, certainly for our American viewers watching, although we have sent a few out there. So if you do want to get your hands on a Miroku and you are overseas, do get in touch, we can help with that. But like I say, it's the deep body action to 20 gauge action. Now, everything that comes out of Japan in terms of a small gauge, whether it be 28 gauge or you can get a 410 in a Browning, it will always be built on a 20 gauge action. And what that does, it gives you a little bit of extra weight and makes it for a very, very usable and all-round gun. So deep body action, we have got on the underside, we've got BC Miroku, which is exactly the same as you'll get in a modern MK70 or MK60 gun. Doesn't have the model name on the underside like, you know, the MK38, for example. Now, this is marketed as a game gun, which is quite interesting because it's actually got a 7mm parallel rib, and it comes as standard as a non-automatic safety. So aside from the action, we have got 30-inch barrels, also available in 28, factory Invector multi-choke, and of course, with these being UK supplied, they will be steel shot proofed as well. 2 3/4 inch chambers, because I've never ever seen a 28 gauge 3-inch cartridge. I'm not saying they don't exist or people don't load them, but from a manufacturer's point of view, I would assume everything that's knocked out, certainly in terms of Miroku, everything is knocked out as 2 3/4 or 70mm chambers. As this is a game stroke hunting gun, there is no adjustable trigger like you get in an MK38. Having said that, no MK60 or MK70 comes with adjustable trigger anyway. Remember, it's this kind of grey nitride finish that comes on all Brownings and Mirokus these days. We've got a fully engraved bottom plate, we've got a fully engraved trigger guard with, again, exactly the same style as Miroku have used for 25 plus years, and that just goes to show, testament to the fact that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So barrels themselves, a little bit different. So we've got a ventilated top rib, like I said, I think it's 7mm parallel with these nice big vents in the top. Obviously the barrels aren't ventilated, but then again, very few Mirokus are, and no MK70s at all are ever. Invector multi-choke, we've got no centre bead. Of course, any gunsmith can add a centre bead for a small cost should you want one, like, you know, on an MK38 Sporter, for example. Standard white foresight bead. You've got the nice little wooden cleats, because of course this is a grade 5, so that enables a better fit of the 4M when it's on the shotgun. And we've got engraved barrel wings, and that's pretty much where it ends. We haven't got any engine turning on any of the ejectors or the ejector slides like you might get with an equivalent Browning. Not to say that Browning is available in 28 gauge in anything like this specification. The gun itself weighs just under 7 pounds 7 ounces. Now, when I shot it, it wasn't too whippy, although I think if you get a long range target, you've got to move the gun and then you've got to stop it. So like I said, if you've not shot one of these before, they do take a little bit of getting used to. And from a recoil point of view, I really enjoyed shooting it because, like I said, I think at the start of the film, I have previously owned small gauge Berettas going back many, many years, and they are just too light. And from a recoil point of view, which if you watch the channel regularly, you know I hate recoil. I just find them far too kicky, as opposed to the Browning, which is the deeper body design, rather than the shallow action Beretta, which is a much more comfortable shooting experience for me. Onto the woodwork. No surprise here, we've got a fantastic piece of grade 5/6 American walnut. What's interesting with this is it feels to me like the checkering is a slightly different gauge, if you like, a slightly different coarseness to what we get here in the UK. It doesn't feel quite as sharp, and sometimes, you know, with sharp checkering you can cut your hands, so it feels a little bit more subtle. The stock height itself is higher than what you get here in the UK. I think it's 36.50, so that's going to just be a bit better for people with longer necks, taller people, particularly from the point of view, if you want to buy one of these, go game shooting with it without having to bend the stock, which I would never recommend with a grade 5 Miroku anyway, or of course have an adjustable comb fitted. On the back end again, unlike like an MK38 Sporter, we've got the hard plastic Bakelite butt plate with BC Miroku on the back. And what that does again with a 15-inch length of pull, it just means that if you do want to extend it, you can get a nice stock length without having to put loads of spacers, and just kind of detracts for the aesthetics of the gun overall. As you can see on the other side, just as beautifully figured, and it's got this very, very kind of flat, if you like, satin oil matte kind of finish, which is not quite the same as we get here in the UK. Tends to be kind of a semi-oil finish, if you like, not a high gloss one, but there is a sheen to it. Whereas this, a bit like I said with the MK10 video, because it's an Australian import, is with it having a finish like this, you can do exactly what you want from day one without them strip everything off. Double point checkering, dropper points, and of course we've got a vacant oval. So to all intents and purposes, why this gun will appeal to so many Miroku fans is it will be a baby version of what they probably take out day in day out clay shooting, or what they shoot high pheasants with during the game season. Onto the fore end, we've got a schnabel design, double point checkering, Again, same kind of finish, nicely matched to the stock. It's got this nice red coloration running through it, which is typical of what you get with American walnut. It's very nutty looking, nice match to the stock. And just to finish off, of course, I've got the 4-end latch, 4-end iron, all engraved, just to match the whole style of the scroll work on the action and the barrel wings, and everything in terms of complementing the rest of the furniture. Balance test. Remember, it's 7 pounds 7 ounces. Remember also that Mirokus and Brownings that are factory multi-choke are historically barrel heavy, whereas this one, absolutely on the hinge pin. It is a lovely little thing to shoot. I've had a lot of fun shooting it, and like I would say to people, you know, there's more and more people that want to be challenged with the game shooting, or we talked about the 410 Championship when we reviewed that Fab Armilos a few weeks ago, which was equally as hard to shoot. And it's just becoming a massive thing with the small gauge, with the popularity of them. So I'm really excited to be able to bring this gun to you because, like I said, it is an exclusive. So if you do want any further details about this MK70 28 gauge grade 5 game gun, please do get in touch. Details are on the screen. It will come as no surprise to you that this gun comes supplied in a lovely grey Miroku cardboard box, as in most of the models do worldwide regardless. One thing I will say is, apart from the standard book of words and the superb inspection certificate from the main man at Miroku, who has of course been through this gun with a fine-tooth comb and made sure that he's absolutely 100% happy with it, is you do get 3 invector chokes with it. You get quarter and half, which is improved cylinder and modified. In addition, you get a full, so just the 3 chokes with a choke key, which should cover you for most things with this small gauge. As ever, the video is sponsored proudly by the British Shooting Show. We will be there next year. We are booked, so we'll have a lot of things to show you, maybe some more exciting products. So do put that date in your diary and do come along and see us. Finally, a big thank you to everybody here at Oakedge for allowing us to use this fantastic facility. We've picked a marvellous day for it in the spring sunshine, and ultimately it helps us bring top quality content every time we come here. Don't forget to check out the website. As ever, we appreciate your support. If you have enjoyed this video, please do hit like, please do hit subscribe, because if you want to see me shooting into thin air again, this is the only place to come. From me, Matthew Morgan, Eastfield Gunroom, out and about at the glorious Oakedge shooting ground with this spectacular little UK exclusive Miroku 28 gauge. I'll see you soon for another shooting review.